Hello guys, welcome to another video. Before you click away on this video, please make sure to realize that this video will do for all makes and models applying to hydraulic brakes with or without ABS. Yes, my car just failed MOT or technical inspection. On this paper here, it said that the front wheels have more than 30% of difference of braking. I'm telling you guys, I'm having a really difficult time to understand on the road and on the testing that I do that same experience, because it is really hard to find out which of the wheels is making less braking force. So I did an experiment here. I unhook here the ABS plug, the connector, so I can have normal brakes. Try to confirm the problem so I can do the repairs. I believe the problem is the flexible hoses. I'll leave you the part number down on the description. Doing a bleeding and the purging front and back, I then can control again in my own house to see if the problem went away before I go again to the MOT or the technical inspection and pay a bunch of money to see that the car is the same or not. Okay, so I already did all this. Okay, I'll leave you down on the description a bunch of links for how to replace the flexible brake hoses front and back, not on this 155, and I will not show it on this video because really no one cares about 155. It's a shame for that, but it is what it is. But the principles of working of the flexible brake hoses, the videos that I have down on the description, is the same for all cars. Okay, after replacing the flexible brake hoses, even though the problem is not there, they have 14 years. So 10 to 15 years, it's just about time to replace the flexible brake hoses. Now it's the time. Then, while I'm in there, I want to make sure that the sliders are not frozen. Being the issue here on the front right wheel, I want to make sure that those sliders are good and free, okay? And if so, I'm good to go. I too already did a video for the sliders on the back of my 156. Really interesting video and very thorough video for that. So let's just do the quick replacing here and do the testing again. Okay, already replaced here the flexible brake hose, and when doing the replacement I was here pushing away this caliper, and I can notice this that on top it moves, but on the bottom side it does not move. So the problem it is here. And now you can say, oh, in that way it is not necessary to replace the flexible brake hoses. Okay, the problem may not be 100% on the flexible brake hose, but remember, it had 14 years. Regardless of the state of the condition of the flexible brake hoses, they all must go between 10 and 15 years, no matter the condition, okay? So I will repeat this process on the four wheels. Remember, on the back side of this car, you have two flexible brake hoses. One goes to the caliper, to the bracket, and the other one between the axle. Okay, and I will replace only the axle part ones because the other ones are about 10 years, 8 years, okay? And they don't move, they don't flex like the other ones. I'll show you in a minute. When I have to do the pads on the back side, I will replace everything. So let's take this apart and see what we can do on this caliper bracket over here. Okay, just open the caliper, like I told you on the other videos, and I can inspect the pads. Yes, they are almost gone. I want to see if they are crooked or in a wedged shape, like this one kind of is. Because of the prism on this side, the caliper tends to go sideways and does this exact symptom. This is the inner one, and it also is wedged. So I do have a problem here on these guides. Okay, so these pads must go immediately. I have to put new ones. Not right now, because I want to do this repairing. And I don't want to mess with the pads right now because I want to see if everything goes okay with it before changing the pads. But I think I have a kit for this at home. The problem is this wood here is swollen because the grease used was not the greatest. And water can enter. And then you have a seized up guide. Very, very bad. I was able to find the grease This is new old stock, by the way. Here's the part number. And I have also new old stock rubber boots. They appear to be much smaller, but that's really because this one is really swollen and fragile, and this pair here is really like new. I don't have the guide itself, none of them. I have to reuse them. In the meantime, I will try to order these guides because it's really becoming more and more difficult to find them, and I want to have some peace of mind on this. So next thing to do is to clean this up really nicely and make sure that they will fit. I'm trying to remember the position. I think is in this way. Yeah, I want to clean this up first, but I also want to confirm. Yes, this one belongs. And on this side is more difficult to put in place on purpose. And can you see the difference? It's abysmal, like Joey said. On the inside here, what you want to have is a brush to go in there, or take out the carrier and try to clean it on the bench or something. I'm trying to remove as much as possible the gunks of it with a screwdriver to make sure everything is at least not gunked up. And then I will pass it with a brush. I have to go buy one with the drill, for example, and try to clean it in and out. Take out this old grease, because this grease will contaminate the new one. That is not good. This is brake cleaner, by the way. I have a tray on the ground for this. Do however you feel like it. It's best for you. At some point you want to make sure that your guide fits well on the hole. And indeed it does. And it does not have a lot of play. On the upper one it has quite a bit of play, sadly. And this guide too is really thin, so imagine that. But one thing at a time, okay? So I know now that my guides will slide brilliantly on the holes. I just really want to clean this up because I don't want to contaminate my new awesome grease with this old one. What will suffer will be the boots. And my new original boots, I don't want to mess with that. I really want them to be 100% okay. Now all cleaned up. In putting the grease on, don't be tempted to put too much in, because you can actually end up hydro-locking the movement here. So what you want to do is just to cover the surfaces of the shaft and here the carrier with just a smidge of grease. The idea of the grease is not to take out any play, it's just to smooth out the workings of this mechanism, very crucial mechanism. Do not be tempted, really, serious guys, do not be tempted to put a ton of grease inside there. It's just a smidge to cover the walls of the carrier, okay? Now on this top part, as I have more play, I can actually use a bit more grease to try to smooth this out. And the way that I like to spread the grease inside there is to use the shaft itself, the guide itself, to make that work. Work it back and forward. Try to feel any hydro lock. I cannot feel any. So I think we are done. On the bottom one, I was really close to hydro lock it. So really be careful with this, okay? Now we can put the boot in place, okay? And the pads. Pads are in, the new boots are in and lubricated with a special grease. And now we are back to testing with all purge up, all the bleeding done, okay? Repeat this on all 4 wheels, and I hope it's okay now. Okay, so this flexible brake hose is replaced. It's the one near the swing arm. It's the most crucial one to replace. And the second one is this one that I will replace once I replace also the brake pads. Now doing here the bleeding of this system, can you remember what I said on the previous video? What is my preference of bleeding of these cars with ABS, the 155 and the 33? What's the sequence that I prefer to do on these cars? I leave you that challenge for you. Write me down below on the comments what is the sequence that I recommend for those specific cars. The 33 with ABS and the 155 with ABS, okay? So now doing here the purging or the bleeding, and next we'll do the testing again. Yeah, guys, I'm not that confident about this. As you could saw on my previous clips, the right wheel is always late in relationship to the left one. Now, as I told you many times on this channel, the way that the brakes work on the ABS systems, like I have on here, on this early ABS systems mainly, you have your master brake cylinder, and I have a boost leak, I think. Okay, let's see. And as you brake on your pedal, you send, I can feel it, you send pressurized fluid, the .4, through one pipe to the front and one pipe to the rear. On my case, the problem is on the front, so let's focus on that. On the front, how can we split into two pipes? Is the block of the ABS that does that job. Once you do not activate the ABS, it works just like a normal car without ABS. So you have a partition inside the ABS. When you brake, you have a split to the right and a split to the left. Okay? What happens with age is the lack of maintenance, and this is a used ABS unit that I tried to keep it working, for example. So for time to time, I try to activate the ABS every now and again to free up any dirt, debris, moist air that creates naturally inside of the ABS. Now the issue is, as you have corrosion inside of your ABS unit, every time you brake normally, the brake fluid escapes through the chamber, and that pressure escapes in the form that you lose the pressure to one of the sides. In this case, the right side. I now can feel, after all this work, I can feel really that the car, yes, now when I brake, it tends to go to the left because that wheel pushes as it brakes more than the right one. I can really feel that this is going to be a failed MOT, a failed technical inspection. I just can feel it, but I have to be sure. And in the meantime, on the road, I will try to activate the ABS even more, because remember, on those chambers that I told you, I can have air, moist, debris, and all that will affect the efficiency of my brakes, because the seal inside of the ABS unit is not perfect now. Okay, so I really do not know what to do money-wise if this fails, because a new ABS is out of the question, not available anymore. If they were about 3,000 euros. The used one will have this same issue. This used one has about, well, it served me well, about 8 years or more. And from almost every day I try to activate the ABS to keep that fluid, because if you do not activate your ABS pump, there is always a certain amount of fluid inside of the ABS that will not come out, even if you do the purging like I told you on my videos. The only way to remove that fluid is twofold: is to activate your ABS from time to time to mix with the other oil and then do the bleeding. And on modern cars, more modern cars, with the diagnosis machine, you can activate the valves inside of your ABS ESP unit, and at the same time, with the pressure machine, take out the oil. That's it, guys. No more fantasies about this. So I think it will be a fail. Let's see at least by how much a fail. It's a pass. Yeah, it passed alright. Just not barely. Yes, the force on the wheels is just perfect. After I did some serious braking on an empty parking lot. I mean, really serious. 5 to 10 seconds of ABS action on the wheels. That tells me that now I'm braking, the car does not veer to the right, to the left, sorry. That tells me that the issue is really confirmed on the ABS. And this will return soon, I believe, very soon. So I have to keep an eye on ABS unit. I have to make sure to keep the fluid changes every year, no matter how many kilometers or miles I do, and from time to time, maybe every day, on the side shoulder of the road there is always some dirt and debris and sand, and do some braking to activate the ABS to free those clogged up chambers. This was a real giant bullet that I just missed, but I think it is a machine gun coming of problems with this one and my other cars. I'm seriously considering a lot of things. I have a cold, sorry. My voice is like this. I'm really considering a lot of things, different things for my life and for the channels. And hope you guys can support me on this stage of my life. Some of you know what's happening, some of you do not. If you care or not, it's the same for me. Just take it easy on me, please. And see you next time, guys. Bye.